The final thing I want to talk about is how to actually set up the right context system. Now, this is universal across whatever model you're going to use. This is not just for Fable. This is for Opus. This is for GPT. This is for future models that come out. I just want to reiterate the importance of this. It's actually giving it your context, your world, and your instructions so it knows how to give you better outputs. So skills are one thing that you can store within a local folder, for example, but the other thing that it needs is context and memory. This is how it's going to make every single response tailored to you or your business. And Fable's a really smart model. It's a great strategic partner and strategic thinker. But, if I'm going to brainstorm a funnel strategy for a new product launch that I'm doing, I need to make sure that the model has the entire map of my business, how it's going, the data, the people in the business, who they are. So when I mention things, it instantly knows, and it can put different connections together to create an outcome that it's only going to get if it's nuanced. Like, think about how your brain actually works. Why can you be a good strategic thinker? It's because you know everything about your own business. Even though maybe you couldn't list it all off the top of your head, you're subconsciously remembering all these minor details. Times you've got burnt in business, times things have gone well, times things have gone badly, and you're remembering all this stuff, and you're able to come to a strategic decision that's likely going to be different if you just give the question in isolation to what Claude will be able to come up with, because it doesn't have the context. Now, obviously you can't import your entire business context, but what you should be trying to do is import the major context, the stuff that actually moves the needle, the stuff that's actually going to enable Claude to be a good thinking partner and, a good executor for everything we spoke about: loops, design, skills, etc. So what you want to do, and this is where I recommend people start, and then you can go more advanced later with cloud memory systems. What I recommend people do is you guys just set up a local folder. You just voice prompt, you use Whisperflow, use the voice transcription feature, whatever you want. You voice prompt everything about your situation, everything about your business, everything that it needs to know. You put that into a documents folder. So you can see mine as my company map. It has my production SOPs. It has, one pages for important meetings. And then you create a memory file, which is Claude MD or Memory MD, which basically stores your memory over time. So anytime you say something anytime you use this folder connected to CoWork or Claude Code, it's going to reference and update this document. And then you want an instructions file where you basically set up the instructions where you tell Claude how to behave in terms of storing its memory. So you'd have a line in there: every time I give you major context, make sure to update my memory folder. So then it becomes a self-updating system. And then anytime there's a material change in the business, you can just voice prompt Claude and it will update that system. And every time you come up with a new strategic document, which I do all the time in terms of new systems for clipping, new systems for content distribution, new systems for product launches, it'll just generate a document, and then you create a log here that that always building upon and always learning from. So this is for business, but for your personal life, you can do the same thing. I mean, those crazy Obsidian second brains that I built and other people have been building? Well, they are just basically this, just with a visual representation. I could connect this to an Obsidian brain and it would look really cool because I've got all the MD files and documentation. Obsidian is just a front end to be able to see everything and connect things in like a neural network essentially. But the underlying documents are all that matters, because the underlying documents are what's actually transportable into other models. If you want Claude to be effective, you need to give it your world. And that is the approach that I would take. And then obviously in the future, like what I did for my personal habit tracker and personal assistant, I created a cloud memory system. And cloud memory systems are better for some use cases because you have more portability, and they're also better for businesses because you can't run business files off a local computer. Multiple people might need access to it. If your computer goes down, you basically don't own the IP to your own business. It's kind of crazy. So start with a local folder while you're learning, and then you can move to Postgres or Supermemory or one of these cloud systems, which I'll speak about more in a future video. But I recommend people just start with local folders. It's the best way to start. Then you can get more advanced over time. So that is how I'd be using Claude Fable as soon as it's live. I'm very, very excited to implement some of this stuff. I'm personally going to be experimenting with a lot of stuff.